Henry, welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here at Arab First. We're going to do a little introductory video. So Pastor Henry can tell us a little bit about himself and what he's excited about in the life of Arab First. So first, tell us a little about yourself, Henry.
So as some of y'all may have already read, Henry Prater, I am a elder in our conference. I have been ordained since 2010, so I'm starting my 14th year as a pastor in this conference. I said yesterday that's weird. I'm not supposed to be in double digits in these kind of things. I'm a huge Alabama fan. I'm a bit of a nerd. If you come to my office, you're going to see various evidences of nerddom, like comic books and other books. And there's a lightsaber floating around the office. You can see I have far too many books. But I'm a big coffee guy. I love coffee. I'm excited about the Four Nights coffee shop just down the road. I'm pretty easy, just a guy.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your call to ministry. A lot of people want to know how were you called to ministry? You said you've been in the ministry for 14 years, but it probably started long before that. So tell us a little bit about your call.
So it did. So I've been pretty active in church almost my whole life since we started at Arab First UMC when I was 5-ish. Always been active in kids and youth and all of the VBSs. Did y'all ever do the VBS train where you went to all the churches and the communities? VBS. Sure. I guess as I started to get into high school, doing different things with youth, doing youth lessons, I found I had a knack for the more teaching side of things. Like I led kind of a comparative religion study at Arab First Chapel that was for youth and adults. So it was just a class that we did on Sunday evenings. Spoke after my chrysalis flight and stuff like that, and people said, "Oh, I think you're going to be in the ministry," and I said, "No, I'm not. I'm going to be an engineer like Dad and go make money, because that's a thing." And just as I got into college and was experiencing more and more, I kind of ran up against the dual thing of calculus was not my friend, but also, more importantly, feeling God moving in my life in a way that just would not let go. And so I said yes to God, which for me mostly meant starting the candidacy process in the United Methodist Church, and just along the way, just more and more being confirmed, and that has just kept happening until I kind of get confirmed. Hey, it's time for you to come to Arab First.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, now that you are here at Arab First, we would love to know, what are you most excited about being here at Arab?
So there are a lot of things I'm excited about. One of the things is I'm excited about worship, and specifically y'all's two different worship services. I'm a bit of a worship nerd, and I love music. I can't play anything but the radio, but I love music. And so I'm really, really excited because y'all got two really distinct services. Y'all have a rockin' praise band and a great choir, and I get to experience, both, guitar and drums and a pipe organ, and the occasional brass ensemble. How cool is that? So I'm very excited about worship here. I'm excited how involved this church is in the community. This is I'm coming into a place where I get to plug in to some things that are already going, and then as we get to know each other better, as I get to know the community better, I get to see where needs might be that we can maybe plug into.
Yeah.
So that's really fun.
Good. Well, we're excited about that too. What do you see as a challenge here?
I think a challenge here is kind of a challenge for the greater church. And I guess there's a couple things that really jump to mind. One is just our world has changed. Phyllis Tickle talks about it as the great shift every 500 years, where the church is going through massive change, and that we're in the middle of that right now. And you see that, in our world, people are more mobile than they ever had been before. People have more options than they ever had before. Used to be, church was about the only entertainment you had 3 days a week. It's not the case anymore. And that's not good, bad, or otherwise. That's just a thing. So how are we going to adjust to make sure we're helping people be disciples and get discipled in ways that are not as easy as they used to be, because we almost had a captive audience.
Sure.
So I think that's an opportunity we have. The other thing is, let's be real, the church doesn't have the best reputation in the world today. And unfortunately, we've earned that. And so we have to work on becoming, again, being known for who we know and who we support, rather than just what we stand against. And in some cases, we have to work really hard to build some trust back.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably what our biggest challenge is how do we, which is the big church, but that's also us at Arab, how can we reach out to those who are done with the church or who have been hurt by the church, and let them know, we're so sorry this happened to you, but we want to let you know that God loves you, and we love you too. So
yeah, that's great. So going into that a little bit deeper, oftentimes people have maybe a 30-day plan, 90-day plan, 1-year plan. So what do you plan on doing maybe in your first 90 to 180 days here at Arab First?
So part of that is really getting in and learning the church, learning the people, and learning the community. I'm not someone who can just come in and say, yes, this is how we go forward doing things, because I have all the ideas. I have some thoughts, but I've also learned that if something becomes too pastor-centric, then, when there's a change or if something happens, that can go away. So whatever we do together, it's got to be something that both of us can take ownership. So that's going to be a lot of learning, whether it's visiting with people in their house, the studies we might do together, maybe me dropping in on the occasional class, participating in all the different ministries and seeing what y'all do. But it's also, trying to be out in the community and see what it is missing. Just to give you an example, there's something that you and I talked about at annual conference. Brooke and I saw a flyer and heard a talk from someone who was talking about Green Church. And you and I got talking about that, hey, there's not any recycling in the city of Arab anymore. Is that a place that we could take ownership? I don't know yet. But, that kind of thing. What's not here in our community that could make a difference for people and for the kingdom?
Yeah. That sounds like you have some great ideas, things that maybe we haven't thought about. And I think that's a lovely part of the United Methodist Church is that when we have new pastors come in, there's things that you may have done somewhere else. Not that you've done that before, but you have a part in the connection where you've learned things that have worked for people and things that haven't. And so I think we're looking forward to just tapping into your experience of being other places and what works best here at Arab First too. All right, so I'm going to move on to some fun questions.
Fun questions.
Yay.
I like fun questions.
All right. First fun question is, what is your favorite movie?
How much time do you have?
I knew that was going to be hard for you.
So I'm going to be honest. I am not going to pick just one movie because I love many movies. I'm a big Star Wars fan. So I love Star Wars. Obviously, I have a lightsaber. I loved the Lord of the Rings movies. I tortured Kellie, making her sit through the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings. I can pretty much quote the movie Tombstone verbatim. I am your Huckleberry, and so I love that one. And I was also, my parents, for good or ill, this says a lot about my humor. I was raised on Mel Brooks,
Nice.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
So I love, so those are some of my favorite movies.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite song?
You know, so in full transparency, Brooke sent me these so I could plan a little bit. I'd probably have to list them in like various areas. So if I was going to, if we're going to talk about church stuff, so probably my favorite hymn is "Grace Greater Than Our Sin," 365 in our hymnal. I love "Grace is Greater Than Everything." I really thinking more like more modern stuff. I love "You Say" by Lauren Daigle, because I think that gets to some of our insecurities and what the world tells us versus what God sees in us. Secular, that would be a little hard to narrow down, but since I just went and recently saw the Foo Fighters, I'm going to say Times Like These.
Okay.
I love me some Dave Grohl. So we'll keep it at 3 for there right now. I could talk another 20 minutes about music.
We'll have a follow-up video.
There you go. There you go. Maybe we'll do a listening session.
Yeah, that'll be good. All right. Maybe a favorite book of the Bible?
Book of the Bible, probably Matthew.
Okay.
I've done a lot of work in Matthew, and I've just really fell in love with the way that he tells the story and the way that he kind of built his book around teaching sessions of Jesus and then like ministry and miracles of Jesus, and they go back and forth between the two. And I really love that flow.
Awesome. I love Matthew too. Okay, what are you reading right now?
I am reading a lot of different things. I am one of those people like.
Do you read?
I read a little bit. I am one of those book people that has the stack of to be read, and then we'll still buy another 4 books when they go to the bookstore. I am that person. So I read several things at once, and I also do audiobooks. So for instance, right now I'm listening to The Deeper Journey by Robert Mulholland. I'm reading Dr. Jack Levinson's The Seven Secrets of the Spirit-Filled Life. We heard him at annual conference. That's kind of my devotional reading right now. But then I'm also reading Stella Mars by Cormac McCarthy and Rose Madder by Stephen King.
Awesome. That's a wide range of
Very,
books.
very, very eclectic, let's say.
There you go. We'll say that. Makes you well-rounded.
There you go.
All right, a final question for you, and then we probably will do a little follow-up video because that might burn some more questions that people want to know about you. But a final question, what is your prayer for Arab First?
So I think my prayer for us here at Arab First UMC is that we will continue to grow in love of God and love of neighbor, and that we will continue to be a people who spreads God's love into the community for the people who need it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing this little interview introduction.
Thank y'all for having me. We're Kellie and I are just so excited to be here.
All right.